triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, and aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side.
Love Conquers all is this year.
In politics,
No,
religion,
2 years ago.
sports,
Oh, really?
business, music, culture,
So when's this
media,
year?
and more. Getting to know
When people don't like you,
public
Who they love,
servants,
they love.
who they love, but when it's when people do something that they
That's
really.
last year.
their stories.
What the hell? So where is it? Who they love? Okay, look who they love. And what's the other one?
The
In
other
the
one
spotlight,
is
we'll also spotlight
Born in Dominica.
interesting topics,
Yeah, they'll be free.
issues, and
But it's not
relevant
there yet, man.
situations. Don't miss
Well, let us play.
In the
Sorry.
Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every
I
Monday
like
night
them. It's that people love
from 8
Conquers.
p.m.
We on?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. I like that song.
Judges didn't like it.
That was a little shady. I was like a little shady. Like, this is much
You
shady.
on already, yeah?
I
Yeah,
said it was a little shady.
it was a little shady. Which
Oh,
the
like
song
that
just
statement mine.
did?
The judge didn't like it.
Oh,
Couldn't shade. John Baptist says, "Hi, King Bob."
One-on-one with interesting personalities, educational and informative topics and issues, intriguing and entertaining. A must listen to In the Spotlight, Monday nights from 8 p.m. on Q95.
I have to say back from last week.
Yes.
Minutes, moving down past the 8 o'clock hour. It is a beautiful Monday night in the beautiful nature island of the Caribbean. This is the In the Spotlight radio show. And as usual, you know, I am your host, Fidina Frampton. And I am ably supported tonight by Kadisha St. Louis. And I want to use this opportunity to say a pleasant evening to one and all, wherever you are tuned into the program tonight. It is always a pleasure to be here with you for the program. I'm so grateful that, you know, I was having a bit of a running nose today and I seem to be attacked by the flu again for the second time in about a month. But I'm holding strong tonight because I have to be here to host this gentleman sitting in the chair right here. There was no way that I was not going to be here unless if, you know, God thought otherwise. Thank you for choosing the In the Spotlight radio show. We do this every Monday night. Last week, Monday, we had joining us in studio 6 of the 9 finalists gearing up to dethrone this man sitting here tonight. Is he ready? Can he do it back to back? Can he do it 2 in a row? Can he make it 2 in a row? Is someone else just waiting in the slips? Is it going to be one of the 9 to come somewhere from around the corner and say, okay, Bob, it's one time for you, try again another time. We're looking forward to the Calypso semifinals this Saturday night at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium forecourt. 9 Calypsonians coming up to meet the reigning Calypso Monarch. He goes by the name of Daryl Bobb. We call him King Bobb because he rightly so wears the title, wears the crown of the Calypso Monarch of Dominica. It was one that he had been going after for many, many, many years, and he'll tell us all about that tonight. And in 2018, he took it. But I'll tell you what, and he probably, I don't know if he remembers that, but I remember hearing both of his songs, I think, at the time. And you know, I'm a social media butterfly. I post stuff on social media, and I remember putting on social media that I think I said something like I liked his song, or I liked that particular song, and it looked like it was going to be his year this year. I don't know if he remembers that, but I remember putting that. And you did come and comment on it, Bob. I don't know if you remember, but you did. And then he came and he actually, you could tell though, you could tell that he was actually heading in that direction. We never know what happens on the night of the show, but in 2018, King Bobb had two songs that I thought could have allowed him to wear the crown, and he came and he performed his guts out, and in the end he was crowned the Calypso Monarch in 2018. I've not had a chance to speak to him. I've not had a chance to interview him. I know he's had a few interviews, but tonight we're going to get into the meat of the matter. We need to find out what that felt like for him after such a long time. You know, what was it like thereafter? What did he do when he got home? I was told he wore the crown to bed. All right, that's a joke you'll clarify tonight. But we're getting ready for King Bobb, and we want to thank all those. We have quite a few viewers already on the program, so thank you to all those of you who are joining us via social media tonight, via my Facebook page, and I suspect, Bob, if you have your phone, you can probably share that on your page as well. We're getting ready to have a conversation with Dominica's Calypso Monarch, Daryl Bobb. Keep it locked. We're coming right back in just a moment. I actually told him that I love this particular one, which talks about love. Where is it, Daryl? Love conquers all. I actually love this one. Let's take a bit of this, and then we'll get into our conversation with King Bobb.
What do I need to share on Facebook?
It's on
My page.
On her
My
page.
page.
Your
Yeah.
page.
And then
There's
just
a live. You can just share the live.
You see, my paper is clean. We started from scratch.
So, I share this.
This is what you share, yes. So click it and then share.
Every man wants a piece of the mind of power. Why is it the heart, but don't get drunk? No, no. I am afraid to face my karma. So what they're thinking of commending my wrongdoings. Cause in my quest for fame and power, it is always.
What's the name of the second one? Is that
Of last year?
No, this year.
The second one is Born in Dominica.
Born in Dominica. I see the track one and the track one. I don't know if that's it.
Track 1. Moving forward.
When you get a chance, just ask the guy. Other one for this it's called Born in Dominica. I don't know if it's one of those other ones that's there.
Financial power, funding, you can lose all. But the power of love lasts forever, and you will never lose power at all. My inspiration song, yes, love conquers all. Yes.
No.
Yeah, let it be free.
Let her be free.
Born in Dominica, let it be free.
Yes.
You have it there?
And to those who know what I should do, from their They don't understand why I sing. Cause I want to build walls for bridges at any cost. And face up to the challenges. My inspiration song is love.
Thank you so much.
I get a chance on love.
Pull over now, please. Thanks.
All right, let's get things started here. It is 20 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour. Good evening to you once again, and thank you for joining us on tonight's In the Spotlight radio show. It is Carnival Week in Dominica as we're getting ready to head to this Friday. Will be the Miss Dominica Pageant, followed by the Night of All Nights. The biggest show in Dominica during the Carnival season has to be the Calypso Finals. What does it feel like being backstage? What does it feel like to be a finalist? What does it feel like? Well, he doesn't know yet what it feels like to be wearing the crown and getting ready to defend. But he knows what it feels like to be there, selected among the top 4 and told step up front. And then the countdown begins, and then it gets to the final 2. And they're holding hands sometimes or hugging. Waiting to hear whoever the MC is it Val, Alex, Peter Pross, waiting with bated breath to hear whose name is going to be called. Sometimes the MCs do a kind of tricky stuff. They sometimes call the first runner-up, sometimes they call the winner. I suspect sometimes they try to confuse the guys. I guess that's what it's all about. I don't know what it feels like. All right, we're ready to go, and we're going to go across and say good evening to Daryl. And Daryl, I want to start off by telling you that you have one of the most beautiful voices in Dominica.
Thank you.
And let me see which mic is yours. Let's try this.
Thank you for that.
Okay, we have the right one. You too. You do. Sometimes people actually argue if your voice is a calypso voice. What do you say to that?
Well, I tend to ask them, what is a calypso voice? And that's where the conversation gets on and nobody can really answer and so on. But I think I have learned to sing calypso better over the years anyway, because calypso has a special type of expression, and I think that was where the confusion was. So I've learned to sing it better by maybe singing less and singing in the right areas. And you know, expressing in a more personal way.
I see. All right. Good evening to you, my dear.
Good evening, lady.
Let me allow you to say good evening to your fans, to the listeners of the program.
Good evening to all the listeners. It's my first time on In the Spotlight. I know it's a really hard show. It's an uncomfortable show for most people, but I geared up for it. I went for Dinah first to approach me about being on this show.
It was right after you won.
Yeah, I said, Dinah, this show is too big for me. I need to add some substance to who I am. And I think I have a little story, so you know, I think probably I can talk on In Spotlight right now.
You've added some zest. I think over the last year as Monarch. So let me again congratulate you. I know it's a whole year. I did already, but it's just a few days to the Calypso Monarch, and we're going to talk about what that feels like in a while. But before we do that, Bob, there is something that I want to begin by asking you about. Do you think you are misunderstood as an individual?
Well, probably you're right. But what the Monarch has done, it has sort of changed a lot of people's perceptions about me. For instance, when I won, immediately after, there were a lot of people coming to me, you know, Bob, I didn't really like you before, you know. And I appreciate the honesty so much. I guess some people felt maybe I would be. You see, the problem with us in this society...
I wanted to knock that very early, so we could get it out of the way and continue the conversation.
But you know, we don't want to know. We want to hold on to our impression, our perceptions and so on without knowing. And some people who was bold enough to come and meet me and talk to me, within 5 minutes they're like, wow, I thought you were a different type of person, you know? And maybe people are right. Maybe I have a certain aura about me that sort of keeps people away. But I am so different within, you know, and I know that. I can talk about that. And some people were bold enough. They say, Bob, I just wasn't in your vibe before. and I'm so happy. The first 3-4 minutes with you, you're such a different person, and I appreciate that very much. You see the honesty, the boldness, and to come and say something like that, because you're taking a risk, because somebody might feel, I'm going to be offended by it or something. And,
but I'm not afraid to ask you about it.
When we sit on the chat, you can't be afraid to ask me anything. But strangers, people I've never seen before, even overseas, And so this is what the monarchy has done for me. It has sort of broken a barrier between me and the people, and I'm still very open. There are people who were very negative about me on Facebook.
I think you're misunderstood. The person that I know you to be, I think you're misunderstood.
Yeah, he yes.
But so let's talk about that though, Bob.
Yeah.
What is it that you think? What is it that you spoke about? Probably the aura that you present. What do you think it is that causes people to think that maybe Bob is arrogant, Bob is not a nice person, he's full of himself, those kinds of things?
I just think it's maybe the way I carry myself, because I have spent a lot of time trying to figure it out and I couldn't get the right answer. All I said to myself, maybe the people are right, there has to be something, because 60 million Frenchmen cannot be wrong.
But is it 60 million Frenchmen?
It may be more.
You think?
But I really took time to try to figure it out, and there was nothing I could really put my hands on other than the fact that I'm just the kind of person, I mind my business. I'm on the streets, I say hello, but I mind my business. I carry myself in a certain way that I'm comfortable within my skin. I wear clothes that I'm comfortable in and so on, and I just like to be nice and clean, There's just nothing special about me. I just like to be nice and clean.
As you mentioned about you wear the clothes that's comfortable. So we know you to wear clothes that fit.
Yes.
You wear very skinny pants.
Yeah, not really.
Most times you wear
clothes that fit.
you wear
And I'll tell you
I like
something.
your fashion sense though.
Yeah, I'll tell you something about me. I kind of grew up in Waterloo and stuff, I didn't spend all my time there, but my grandmother lived there, so I was there for every summer holiday, every Christmas I was there. That's why I speak French fluently.
Oh, c'est vrai?
Yeah, so I mean,
Tu parles français?
Très bien, chérie.
Très bien, très bien. Série, moi avec série.
So I was always into European wear, And at the time when I came to Dominica, when I was coming back every summer and stuff, I would wear clothes that fit. But at the time, Dominica guys was wearing baggy clothes, and I was accused of being let me find the right word there because I'm on radio.
It's okay.
I was accused of being gay because of wearing fitted clothes.
But you're not.
And I just
you're very much as man as you can get.
And then now, as fashion changed now, I see guys wearing skinny clothes. But I was like, look at that boy, look at that. This guy accused me of being that way.
Yes.
And now look at them,
Let's talk about the shoes.
Yes, well, that's my signature. That's the signature part of me. The shoes, it always has to be special shoes. Even now coming to your show, people are not going to see my feet, but I just have to wear them to feel
Let me see what you have. Let me see.
Because I am
fresh.
My clothing puts me in character.
But you always look good though. It's interesting that you say that. I'm paying attention to that tonight. I don't know, probably it's because you're here. But you always look well put together. You have a good sense of fashion, I think. And probably people were not in style at the time you were in style.
I was ahead of the game.
You were ahead of the game, right? You were ahead of the game.
But I didn't make it change me though. I didn't make it change who I am. I didn't become rebellious or anything. I didn't become rude. I just took the jails and I just moved on. I from a very early age I understood the society I lived in because I traveled from early. Those are things that was just natural to me. So I just adapted.
Okay. Let us talk a bit about the person Daryl. And are you from Roseau? Where are you from?
I'm from Roseau,
You are?
Yeah, I was born at PMH. Yeah, I was born at Princess Margaret Hospital.
Well, not because you were born at Princess Margaret Hospital, it means you're from Roseau, because I was born at Princess Margaret Hospital too, but I'm from Pichela.
No, but my mom lived in Roseau at the time, right? And so my dad. But she's from Portsmouth. She was from Portsmouth, and may her soul rest in peace. She died I got to know her when I was 9 years old. Yeah, because when I was only 3 months old, right? But just going back a little bit.
No, that's fine.
My dad,
we want to know you.
Yeah, of course. My dad was only 19 years old when the baby was conceived. She was a few years older than him. A beautiful lady from Portsmouth. Came to Roseau to work, and here was this hot boy. And he got the girl pregnant. She lived at Fortley at the time. And he kept it a secret from his mom, and who is now my adopted father, Mr. Elise. And it's a small society, so one day Mr. Elise, his adopted father, who is my adopted father now, that I will call Daddy.
That I know too.
Daddy told him, Desmond, I heard you have a girl pregnant. And Desmond said, no, I don't know anything about that, I don't know anything about that. But he was taking mommy's linen to bring for the girl all the time, so they suspected him. About 2 weeks later, they told him, Desmond, we're not going to ask you again. The baby you have in Fortnite, bring him home now. By evening time, there was a little boy, only 3 months. But my mom got, just a fast track, my mom got a deal from some folks from Italy at the time, to work in Italy. An opportunity that she could not refuse. So my granny and Mr. Elise decided we will raise the baby, because Desmond is obviously too young to raise the baby at 19. We will take the baby, and she departed. And she returned 9 years later, and that was the first time I saw her. But she didn't come back too well, she was ill. And some 6 or so years later, my mom departed. Yeah, and I'm actually referring to her in my second song, where I say my late mother's town has turned upside down since the departure of Ross. And then I say R.I.P. Mama. So that's the first time I'm actually recognizing it. It's very emotional, but in a jumpy song, but it means a lot to me, and I've recognized her in the song. So Mary Hughes, may your soul rest in peace. Your son loves you, and everything I do is in your loving memory.
Oh, you refer to your father as Desmond?
Yes, because we were brought up in the same home as brothers. And he was too young for me to call him Daddy. Oh my God. So he's still, I love him a lot. He's still one of my favorite persons. I really, really love him, and I know he loves me a lot too.
Is he still alive?
Yes, Desmond. Desmond is still a young chap. Yeah, we're like partners.
He calls him Desmond, like, oh
Desmond
my goodness.
Bobb, Desmond Bobb, the son of Philip Bobb from Fortley, and Citronelle. And then there's the big boy is really George Elise, right? He was the one who brought the two of us up and stuff. And
that's Mr. Elise.
Right. And I'm still very connected to him. He has molded and fashioned me into everything I am today. You know.
Interesting. I with all the years I've known you, I've known that family.
Yeah.
I do not know that. I did not know that. Yeah. So.
And Judith, his wife, actually complimented the whole thing. She's my mother. My granny and my mom has left me, and Judith is my mom now.
And Kelvin and Elise are your brothers.
Those are my brothers. I held them babies. I can't depart from them.
They're a much bigger man than you, though.
Well, yeah. That's 3 times their size. But they know I love them. I love them with my whole heart and soul, and there's nothing in this world I won't do for them.
Let's talk about growing up with that family, Daryl, what that was like.
It was kind of tough, because eventually mommy moved to Guadeloupe, my granny, and daddy decided I'm keeping the boy, and he had to raise me on his own, and it was really tough. He's a very, very strict man. He was a very strong disciplinarian type of man, so I got my whooping, and when necessary. I remember the last one, which was the worst one, and but I thank him dearly. He gave me the best food to eat. You know, he taught me, you know, eating from the ground. You know, like your wasing is the real way to eat, and that's how I eat today. So I am not much of a macaroni man, and I thank him. I'm a very healthy young man.
What kind of child were you, Daryl?
Very obedient kid, you know. I was a little troublesome too, but I was still very obedient. I don't think Daddy had too much trouble with me. Off and on, you know, a thing or two, you know, and I maybe to do my homework or, you know, just basic stuff, because I was alive. I was a young man, and well, a young boy. So I wasn't perfect, but I was a good kid. I was obedient, and I remember that clearly, because I didn't get too many beatings. That's one of the ways I can testify to that. And the fact that he just loved me unconditionally, he just loved me even today, you know, there's nothing, he wants to see me every day. I think it's because I've been a good kid. And today I just want to continue being a good man, just being there for him, his wife, the family. And then eventually we'll come to my own kids.
Yes, indeed. So you grew up within that environment. In terms of your education, what type of education did you attain for yourself? What school did you go to? What did you enjoy in school?
Well, to tell you the truth,
That was really there for the truth. Don't you have a song that talks about some truth in it as well?
yeah. I don't think that artistic people really like school. We don't really like the academic world so much. But I was forced to appreciate it. I was forced to do my homework and do well in school. So I went to the St. Mary's Academy. Well, before that, I went to the St. Mary's Primary. I spent a little time in Google School, and when SMP opened, I was moved into SMP immediately. I was one of the first students in there. A lot of teachers in there right now, and they don't know that I'm one of the first students there. And from there, I moved into the St. Mary's Academy. But whilst at SMP, I was always the class prefect. And so that's why I say leaders are born. And then my first year into SMA, I was prefect, and my last year, I was prefect for 4 years. My last year in fifth form, I was a school head boy.
Really?
Yeah, so it was just like leadership was just a natural thing in me. But by the time I got to third form, I met friends who were interested in music like I was, because mom had bought me a guitar that I learned to play eventually. I actually learned to play that guitar in Point Michelle, but that's another story. But that's because of Judith, eh?
Yes.
Yeah. So and there my music career began in third form. And by the time I was 17, I was able to play at the hotels and employ myself playing music. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But let's go back to school environment. So you were a prefect all through, then you became the head boy. That means you were liked in school. For you to become the head boy, for you to be a prefect, somebody or some of the students would have had to like you.
Well,
was there voting involved?
Yes, of course. Yeah, my leadership skills were very strong. I was always a leader in school. Among my friends, I was always a leader. I was always the one to say.
Let me interrupt you a moment. When you speak about I was always a leader, what do you think those characteristics were?
I was always the one to say, guys, we're not going there. Guys, we're not doing this. No, and let's go. You understand what I'm saying? I was always that loud voice, very loud voice. And we get into a fight, I'd be at the front there.
You must have been skinny though.
Yes, I was. But everything was inside of there, and it still is. You know, so it's not what you see. And that was where my leadership skills actually, you know, and then eventually from the band, my creative ideas came about as, so how do we go about doing this thing and so on. So my friends identified me as, this is the one we want at the forefront. So I believe leaders are born. Even today, I'm still pretty much a leader.
I know you said that probably artistic people are not probably totally into academics, but there must have been some things you liked in school, some subjects.
Well, you see, the thing is, at the time, in our school curriculum, we never paid attention to humanities that would include the arts. So students were pushed into areas that they, for instance, I was pushed into doing sciences. And I was so lucky, thank God, that after I graduated from SMA, I got the opportunity to go to university without going to college. And then I went to Trinidad to study arts and management and so on, directly down my lane. So, you know, and I have a postgrad diploma in that. A lot of people don't know that.
No.
I am a UWI graduate, yes. Thank God.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're learning.
And my master's is somewhere down the road. Yeah. Yeah.
This is good to hear though.
But a lot of people should know, you know, because when I graduated, I came back to Dominica, I actually gave the press the information, because I was already in Calypso and so on at the time, and I gave the press the information, a picture of graduation and so on, just to let people know.
Wait,
I guess I was insignificant at the time.
I vaguely remember something. Very vaguely remember something.
Yeah, I wore glasses and all that kind of thing.
That was how long ago, Daryl?
That could have been roughly about 8 to 10 years ago.
8 to 10 years ago.
Yeah, I'm terrible with dates.
I vaguely remember that. I think I sort of remember something like that. So you have a degree in what?
I did Arts and Cultural Enterprise Management. That was a special thing that the university had put together for people like me.
Okay.
And then in there, you know, everything just came about. We have accounting, just name it. You know, but those were things that I didn't really pay attention to at school so much, because I loved my music so much. I fell in love with my music. And then I was just lucky that that opportunity was available for me. And I want to thank guys like Bernard Georges, who really supported me throughout my time.
May so rest in peace, Mr. Georges.
And Valda Henry too.
Dr. Henry,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, she was a pillar. You know, she said, Daryl, you got to do this, you got to do this, you know.
And you went.
I had a very hard time for her when her dad was very sick, so I just want to recognize that, you know.
Did you get a scholarship or did you have to fund this yourself?
I got a scholarship.
You?
Yes, I got a scholarship.
You did?
Lucky kid, yeah.
You've been blessed.
Yeah, pretty much.
You've been blessed.
Yeah.
What have you been doing with that degree though?
Well, I have been managing myself.
We'll get to
and
that.
staying out of trouble.
We'll get to that, Daryl. So let us talk about you left school, but you were very much already getting involved into the arts. You said your mom bought you a guitar.
My granny.
Your granny bought you a guitar.
Yeah. She too was from Portsmouth. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What kind of guitar was it?
It was a box
and
guitar.
why did they buy you a
An
guitar?
acoustic guitar. I don't know why, you know, but it's a story. I always wanted to sit with Chubby to tell him, Chubby, do you remember buying 2 guitars for an old lady in Pointe-à-Pitre? And I'm sure maybe it is, you know,
I'll ask him when he comes
here. Yeah. But Chubby is responsible for getting me a very good acoustic guitar. So I learned to play chords in there, and it perfected my interest in music really developed from that instrument.
Were you already interested in music before that?
Not so much, you know.
So your granny just bought you a guitar?
Yeah, and that's just where it went. So that's why all my success, you know, I named it after her.
You think she had foresight?
She probably did, because she prayed so much, you know.
She prayed for you.
Yeah, she prayed a lot for her little grandson, you know.
You said she bought 2 guitars.
There's another grandson, but he didn't take an interest in it. He lives in Canada now.
Okay, so you ended up with 2 guitars then?
No, he had his guitar.
Okay.
He had his guitar, but I was the one who actually made use out of it. You know?
Okay.
He never learned to play his guitar.
Alright, so how did you learn?
I actually asked a friend to show me 2 chords. And that was it, yeah. And I thought Dania would have done the same when I bought her guitar.
Oh, you bought your
I tried to show
guitar?
her 2 chords, but then, you know, you actually have to have the interest, you know. And
She's actually on.
is she?
She says pops.
Love you, Dania. Don't go to bed too late, alright? Yeah.
So you bought Dania?
Yes.
Dania a guitar.
Yes, I bought
And
it.
you were hoping for the same.
Yeah, but nah, Dania never touched that guitar. I actually had to take it back. It's still hers, but it's in my care. Yeah.
Alright, so you got this guitar, Daryl, and you asked somebody to show you a couple of chords. And what did you do with it after that?
I just learned from there.
practicing?
Yeah, I started practicing. I started flexing my fingers and trying to follow songs that I hear on the radio. And yeah, so I'm pretty much a self-taught guitarist.
Did you have YouTube by then?
No, not at all. We didn't have anything to help us to, other than books, and not, those books were not necessarily sold here on island. We were just fortunate that when we traveled, I was able to buy a couple of books and so on that taught me a few things. I think the whole thing was destined to happen the way it did. You know? And here I am today. I just wanted to take part in something big that was musical in Dominica, and Calypso was the thing. Yeah.
I'm gonna get to Calypso. So this guitar that you got, and apparently you seem to be a pretty good guitar player now.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't know I play on a lot of these songs, the Calypso songs that you hear.
Really?
Yeah. Even this year, yeah. You see, the thing is, some people wouldn't tell you this guy played on my song, and so I'm not afraid to say where I played, because this is my intellectual property
Same
as
man.
well. You know, but I help Cy on his music every year.
Okay.
You know, and off and on this year, you know, I did Dicey's song as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know, we have that warmth and understanding among us.
There should be.
Yeah.
I think there should be. But I think you play well, and
Thank
you became the front man for a band. Then I want to know how this all started, because that is how we all know you. I'm you and all the rest. You know.
I'm
making love no more. They didn't put that there for me. How could they? Why didn't you bring me a copy when you were coming, Daryl? I'm sure we should be able to find those somewhere, you know. I guess I asked for Calypso, so they gave me Calypso. They made sure that I had all of their
Calypso is
Calypso.
actually a small part of my career.
I think so. I suspect so as well.
Yeah, because Rough and Ready actually have 6 or 7 albums recorded.
Including the famous Christmas album.
Yes, 95%.
That doesn't grow old at all.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That Christmas album is mine. It's the gold mine right there.
Yes. But let us talk about the introduction to music. I'm starting with the guitar. How did Daryl Bobb get into music?
I just wanted to. I was very much influenced by Michael Jackson. Very, very much influenced by him. I love the work that he did. I love his singing. I love his stage antics and everything. I was very, very, very much inspired by that. And then the Burning Flames came about, and the Burning Flames was my Caribbean inspiration. I love the way the guys sing. I love the way they arrange their music. And I love the way that Onion played his guitar, and those were my 2 influences. So you get a little bit of Flames, you get a little bit of Michael Jackson in it. So I'm accused of being the Michael Jackson.
And people
Calypso.
also call you Sammy Davis Jr.
Sammy Davis Jr. People say I look like him and I don't find that. But even today a guy calls me that. But it's all good because these are great people. These are great people. These are all great people, and I am honored to be associated or to that folks can say I sound like them, I look like them in my music or whatever it is. You know, I'm really honored. It's for me it's another accolade.
Yes, but at some point people actually called you Sammy Davis Jr.
They still do.
Yes.
I was doing your video last night.
Yes.
The guy came.
Thank you for that, by the way. I really appreciated the effort.
You're welcome. Anytime. The guy came to me and said, "Man, you look like Sammy Davis." Man.
Where?
Outside the
Last
stadium.
night.
Yeah, last night. I was going There's a guy who lived in the US, you know, and but so I don't find that. So, but and folks
You don't think so?
Folks think so. But I put on a goatee, so I hope that I will look like myself from now on.
Yes, you are yourself, I'm sure. So back to the music, Daryl. So you were influenced by Michael Jackson, by Onion of Burning Flames. These 2 main characters influenced your musical journey or your musical career, or the path that you would have taken in terms of music. But where would that path lead you? From the time you identified, okay, I love music, I play my guitar, I love these 2 guys, this is what I'm gonna take this and make it into.
Yeah, well, I actually, from that, I produced about 7 albums with Rough and Ready.
Wow.
And those albums will live on forever, including the Christmas album. Which is something Dominicans should be very, very proud of, because you know people in Europe, people all over the world just love it. And now the music is so powerful, it has brought the group back together. We make music from the distances. Coeno is all the way in Florida, Clinton is in California, and we still make music together. As a matter of fact, they are pretty much involved in my calypsos that I produce every year. Clayton is the one who mixes my music. Coen is, you know, he takes part in the arrangement as well. So, but I do 90% of my work in terms of, you know, getting my music done. Most of what you hear, I do it. And these 2 guys, they are my rocks in the US, you know, and I'm very proud of them, they're very proud of me, and we will be together for the rest of our lives.
Oh.
Yeah.
How did Rough and Ready come about?
Just guys we just wanted to play music. We didn't know what we wanted to play. Maybe at a very early age, you know, we were 15 years old, most of us, and we just, maybe some of us wanted girls, maybe some of us just wanted to do something.
Notice you said us, maybe some of us just wanted girls. You included yourself in that, eh?
But I really had a genuine passion. I like girls, but I really had a genuine passion of playing music. It's no secret, I'm a straight man. So, yeah. And it just went into this very positive vibe. So the music saved us pretty much. And unfortunately, one of our members may have faltered somewhere along the line where he broke off from the group. But fortunately, he's doing fantastic. And unfortunately, you know, he's coming back. And he's back pretty much. but now we're getting back into the music.
Yes, and I think one of the friends also gave him an opportunity to work
Yeah,
with him.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that
They're
was
working very
awesome.
hard, yeah.
Yes.
So he has his own apartment now.
Oh,
He's
he
just-
does.
Yeah, he's just living life the normal way.
Oh,
again.
that is
He has a new
beautiful.
instrument again, you know. So the music has saved him again,
Oh boy.
and it's a beautiful story by itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So hence the birth of Rough and Ready. In terms of the albums and some of the production work that was done, did you do a lot of the writing? Did you?
Yes. I was the main writer in Rock and Ready. 98% of the songs that you hear, I wrote them. Obviously, I'm Yo, which you love very much, is a song from the original is from Africa, from Baby Manga. But all the other songs that you hear was written by me. And yes, they're my intellectual property. They were arranged by Melvin Del Sol. Most of them were arranged by Melvin Del Sol and myself. And that part of it is his intellectual property that one day he will reap the benefits of.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as writing is concerned, I was the main writer in there. And even today, we have a new album recorded that cannot get out of the studio.
Oh.
Yeah, we did a lot of writing on that as well. So maybe time will tell as far as that is concerned.
I'm sorry, I was just doing a bit of a searching here.
You're searching.
Yes, I'm searching, but it seems mostly what is coming up for me is the Christmas album.
Christmas, yeah, because that's the most popular.
That is the most popular of that. Yes, so Daryl, so you all did some albums, you all did some work. You became the front man for this band. How was that decided?
It just came about naturally. I mean, when you have a group, the ones with the talents will find their places. So I became the front person because of my singing ability.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it naturally. It wasn't any by vote or anything. It was just, this is where you belong, Bob, you know?
It just happened naturally.
Yeah.
So you spoke about your singing ability. We've spoken about the guitar playing abilities and how that came about, but we didn't talk about when the discovery came in terms of recognizing that you have a beautiful voice, which is what it is. It is a beautiful voice.
Well, I think the first day I walked into the little band house, which was the downstairs of Cohen's mother's house in Enzo, I picked up a mic. We actually made our own mics at the time. I picked it up, it was a headset, I put it on, and then I sang a few lines of the first song, and everybody just said, Bob, you're going to be the singer. You know, and that was it. I was the singer from then.
But did you know that you had that ability before?
No, I just imitated some songs that I liked. At the time, I'd sing a lot in the bathroom. I actually learned to sing in the bathroom, you know.
So this is actually true then?
It is true.
That people sing in the shower?
Yes, because the shower is like...
I don't
walls.
sing in the shower.
It's at least 3 walls that surround you, and the acoustic is when you sing, you hear yourself very nice. And there's something about singing on water. You should try it, but I never know. You never know.
I mean, I don't know. I've never really paid attention to whether I sing in the shower, but I don't think I do. First of all, if I'm in the shower and music is playing, if the water is running, I'm not going to hear the music playing, really, I don't think.
No, but
unless it's really loud.
in your head.
Why should I be...
Sing a song you like in the shower.
Why should I be
see how much you sing.
focusing on showering and worried about singing?
Well, that's why I learned to sing, huh? And fortunately, I did it the right way, so I didn't damage my voice, and I learned as I went along. So, and here I am today.
Here you are today.
We have to find our way.
I find it to be awesome. I don't know why some people want to help. I should be
Maybe like
I want to hear what I say. It's very future, it's very like of that time.
Because back then, what we thought was wrong, but we need some of our better days. And instead of that, and praise, we let hate take us from these of our worst days. This spell is not well. Too much hate in Dominica. We caught in our own spells. That's why we owe it nowhere. But we were not made for failure. No matter what anybody says, God is good. We can break the spells we under.
Take one day at a time,
We
Daryl.
have to find a way.
Take one day at a time. What's that one? Remember that one. One time I was seeing the story that someone James.
Shine a light on the
Ah? Oh, it's okay. I'll find it. Okay, oh. So what 9 o'clock on me there already?
Loving began to be as wrong, but charity begins at home. We know that long, but since we lost our common sense, with hospitality, is all the residents while we killing our own Dominican's confidence. We become spectators in our own development. We play no part in no government. We accept victimization and intimidation and poverty as our destiny. Whoa, 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 yeah. If the spell is not well, too much hate in Dominica. We're caught in our own spells. That's why we cannot go nowhere. But we were not made for failure. No matter what anybody says, God is good. We can break the spells we are under.
We've got to find a way. .58 is the time in our studios. This is the In the Spotlight radio show. In the spotlight tonight, Dominica's 2018 Calypso Monarch, Daryl Bobb.
I got so much flack for that song.
Really?
Yeah, they felt it was too much arrangement for Calypso. And I introduced the rock guitar. You hear the rock guitar screaming.
I hear something there in the background.
Yeah, that's the rock guitar. This is the first time the rock guitar played so much in Calypso.
But I'm really, I don't know if my headphones, I have my headphones really loud. I put it loud so I could really feel the music. But I really feel it though.
When I brought it to the Mascam band at the time, the guy told me, let me tell you something, swing stars I'm going to play that. I said, because I don't make music for swinging stars. I make music for posterity, you know? So all of what you're listening to is just, but there's one thing I want to say quickly is that I mentioned my two biggest influence when I began, but my biggest influence now in music is Pat Aaron, you know.
Is it?
Yeah, he's...
Is it because he's your writer?
The kind of lyrics that he gives me to arrange music for, it really brings out the best in me. I say to him every year, Pat, you and I make a marvelous team.
Yes.
And I just love his melodies, I love his concepts, and he's my biggest influence. It's going to be very hard for me to stop singing Calypso because of Pat.
Well, I think that Pat Aaron is a big deal. That's
He
my
is a big-
view.
he's the biggest
I think
deal.
it's a big deal, and I really don't care if I want to put it bluntly what anybody else says, you know, where that is concerned, because you cannot get one man every year. I mean, where does he come with the ideas? How is he able to do that? It almost seems impossible to me. But every year, Pat Aaron comes, and I mean, there are other writers in Dominica, and I give everybody their due credit. And I see, guys like Pelam, really coming up with some, really good calypsos, and you have Ian Jackson, you have Tim Jura, and these are all my friends, and these are all my guys, and I've had them on the program. I've not had Pat on as yet. He was supposed to be on at some point in time, but at some point I hope he does come on. But I think Pat Aaron is a big deal, and I think he's really blessed, and I think he's really talented.
Absolutely.
And I think he's skilled to be
Yeah.
able to do this every year.
And imagine, we can change some things in the world, when you have great people teaming up together. But Pat is just phenomenal, and he has definitely changed my life. He has changed my life. The kind of music that he sends at me that I have to create music for, the kind of lyrics and so on, it's what I look for every year.
Because I know somebody says he's a genius. Indeed he is, and persons say, oh, he always writes against the government, government in power. In
He
this
writes
case.
against any government that's messing about.
And you think so?
But he has proven that. He has proven that. I mean, if you go all the way back, if you look at his track record, I don't have to talk about it. You just go and check yourself. But I'll share one little secret there.
Well, it's not going to be a secret after that.
Yeah, well, yeah. There's, one thing we taught ourselves to do, and me, maybe since maybe 20 years ago, we taught ourselves to meditate. And you might be wondering, where is all the inspiration? But when you meditate, you open up. You just open a gate, and there's so much stuff that flows in. You just have to be attentive. Another thing we taught ourselves to do is to talk less and listen more. And that's where all that creativity comes from.
So this is something that you all do.
You have to do that. You have to do that. You have to spend at least 20 minutes a day and just listen to yourself. Just listen to your own silence.
That brings me to Daryl. The entrance to Calypso. How did that happen? How did that come about? Because you're singing your Rough and Ready band, your Amigo, and
I'm glad you mentioned Rough and Ready.
Yes.
Because moving on, I always felt Bob, we're not popular enough. WC, they're killing us every year. We have to do something to get more attention to ourselves.
Is it that
So
you
I
were
said,
not popular enough, or probably you were not making the type of music that probably WCJ was making?
I think probably that's it. We were so musical, we wanted to do what we wanted to do and not what the public liked. But then, we came up with the idea, so I told Mummy, what is it going to be? So we have to go in the Calypso competition, And the two of us, we went in the same year.
Who? Murphy?
Yes. We sang at eliminations together.
What was this Calypso name?
I don't even remember. But Murphy came in, and then he just did a blonde on stage and he walked up the stage. But I wrote a song, Something is Wrong, Somebody Doing Something Wrong. And I wrote one verse. I don't know anything about eliminations. So I go to Cicero Hotel, I'm standing there, Daddy chest on with Daddy, they say, so you ready now? You have your 2 verses?
The little intimidation.
Yeah. You have your 2 verses now? I say, what 2 verses? I only have 1 verse. So here I am now, I wrote into the toilet, right? And I wrote the second verse, and I wrote it in the palm of my hand, and I'm just studying that thing. No, I didn't use it on stage. I did, and then I went on stage. And for Dinah, straight to the finals.
Straight to the final.
Straight to the finals.
Your first year.
My first year. And that has been it for me.
What was the song?
Something is
Oh,
wrong,
that's it,
somebody doing something wrong. Yeah, that was it.
So you didn't know it was 2 verses?
No, I wrote the verse just before I go on stage.
So you wrote your own song to enter into the elimination?
Absolutely.
And you came in 1 verse, I went
But
chorus.
I don't know if Chester remembers. I have to, my success, I really have to give you this kudos. Because he came in my head and said, everything alright now? So you have your 2 verses and thing. I'm like, what 2? But true, true.
And you
That's
went
exactly
into
what
the
happened.
washroom. You were singing at number what? Do you remember?
I don't even remember, but I was singing late enough.
Late enough
That
that
you
you
gave
could
me note. I have never told that story before, you know.
That is funny.
But I've never told that story
Well,
before.
you know how I am, Daryl. I get people to say things.
I hope you don't get me to say the wrong thing.
No, I won't. I promise.
But it is very true. Looking at it right now, that's exactly how it happened. And I went in there, I had a pen. I always have a pen. And I wrote in the palm of my hand that second verse. And I sit.
Do you remember the second verse?
No, but I remember it on stage.
You did.
I was so serious about the thing, you know. And straight.
But what
to the
made
finals.
you want to get into it is only because you felt you wanted to be popular.
Yeah, but we thought, Bob, let's do this. So I gotta give it a shot straight to the finals. And I've been in the finals. Oh, ever since.
Ever since. That was how long ago, Daryl?
That was in 2001.
That's Tanisha, what's the calculation? That's how many years? 2019 minus 2001. That's 18 years.
Yes, 18 years.
18
I
years.
celebrated
I'm not,
17 years last year.
There I am saying I'm not so good in maths.
I celebrated 17 years last year.
17 years.
After 17 years winning the crown.
Oh, that is correct. You did actually mention that.
Yeah.
So that year you went in, you wrote your own song.
Yeah.
And did you write your second song as well?
Yes, I wrote my second
But
song.
did you understand what you were getting into though? Because you didn't even know it was two verses.
Not at all. That's the thing.
We didn't people think with one verse and one chorus.
All I can say now is that the talent was so natural. It was just, it was ready. It was there, you know, because that little bit that I tapped into, I went straight up there. You know?
And you call yourself Bob from there? Was it Bob?
The Bob.
The Bob.
And I'll use this spotlight correctly.
Not D.
It's not D Bob, you know. I always want to be different. I just go into people's thing and I want to just, you know, redefine the whole thing. Everybody's D Hunter, D this, D Calypso. I say, yo, I am the Bob. THE Bob. The Bob. And I'm still the Bob. Well, I'm King Bob today.
That's right. Take that.
Yeah, take that. Yeah, but it's a good feeling for that. What I've done over the
I'm gonna bust your bubble a little bit. Somebody actually just had to remind us the year you fell asleep.
Oh, well, that was a hell of a year. I think. Then again,
Were you tired?
Being too serious. No, it's not tired. I'll tell you what happened.
Tell us what happened.
And almost the same thing almost happened this season.
This season? Last season? This season?
I'll tell you what happened. Our biggest fear as Calypsonians is to catch the flu
Okay.
the week or 2 weeks before. Unfortunately, I got the flu maybe about 3 weeks ago, so I'm actually coming out of it. But I got the flu the week before the competition, and all week I don't have voice, and I'm like, what? So I went to Jolly's pharmacy. Well, I guess I get a free plug in there right now. And I knock up
Carlton listens, it's okay.
I knock up on Actifed. You know what I'm saying? Not reading the thing properly, that Actifed makes you drowsy.
Oh my God.
But I really find it funny. Every time I go to sleep that week, I'd have a deep sleep. Like hours I'd be sleeping and stuff. I never knew the competition coming when I take my rest that afternoon and switch off my phone and everything, that I was in for it. I woke up after the competition.
You did.
Because I switched off my phone.
Yes, you
so
did.
it was intentional. I was ready. I had my suit. I had a nice song.
Well, people
You know,
made fun of you.
Wouldn't you agree? Demolishing the Windsor Park was a waste of money. Wouldn't you agree? And I did a music video. I was ready. I had a nice black suit, which I still have today. I bought that suit for Mervin's wedding, actually. No. I bought it for the Calypso. And then I used it at Mervin's wedding. So it became useful. And I went to the competition, man.
But people said you fell asleep. And I remember I was judges coordinator all that time. It was a tennis court.
Yeah.
It was a tennis court, wasn't it? And people just said Bob fell asleep.
Well, I really was.
But now I
sleeping.
understand though.
And when I woke up, that was the fastest shower I ever had. Like, I like to stay in the bathroom long. A lot of songs come.
You smelled good when you came in here.
All right. Do you need to know that on Facebook?
I do that. That's what my show is about. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But it's one of his shoes and perfume. Daryl
Okay.
Bobb is shoes and perfume. That's a signature thing. And fitted clothes. Yeah. And I just took a nap that day, man. Because I needed, the most important thing to any singer is rest. And I took a nap and I woke up after the show.
Actifed.
Yeah, I woke up after the show.
Did you? I don't remember if you actually came to the stadium.
I didn't bother come, man. It was too embarrassing, you know. By the time I woke
Was
up,
the show over
I
by
see how
then?
many missed calls on my
Yeah,
phone.
because
and
they
stuff.
called Daryl, Bob going once, going twice.
There were like 3 women at the phone booth. At the time I flew at phone booths.
Oh my
Triple and wireless.
God.
3 women crying, waiting to call and to see if anything happened, you know. And
3 women?
But yeah, because somebody
No,
told
but
me there were 2 other ladies who were trying to call me.
Okay. No, the way you
You know?
said there were 3 women waiting, you know.
Yeah, there were people lined up at the
I'm
front
just saying,
door
I'm just
because
saying
they could
that.
hear each other talking, hello, trying to get me,
Those ladies must have been very concerned.
Of course, wouldn't you be?
Yes, of
because
course,
Calypso, they know it's so important to me and stuff, and that night was just something else, But then I accepted it immediately. I just say, just forget it.
But that is, and you said it almost happened again this year.
No, not the falling asleep, just the flu thing, But
Okay,
I know
for quarters of a second. Well, no, because you didn't have to take part in any of that. You're the king. What am I saying?
That's a very boring place to be.
I am sure.
It is very boring.
I'm sure.
Because for 17 years I've had the quarters and the semis, and I miss the quarters and the semis so much because it's that time when you build up and you get the people with you, and it's just like right now it's just nothing. You just wait for the finals, So it's pretty boring.
Okay, but you'll be fine. Don't worry. So Daryl, so year 1 you wrote your 2 songs, and you came in. You made it all the way to the finals.
Yes.
You're laughing. Why are you laughing? Because you cannot get over.
It's funny how it happened. I didn't even intend to, But anyhow, life is like that. You never know what's coming.
I have to say hi to Nadia McDowell.
Oh, that's my darling
Yeah,
cousin.
she's like,
Moing, moing,
yes,
moing. Love
yes.
you, man. Nadia, stay tuned and locked in.
I have to say hi to my sister Gail as well. I can see her little bobblehead on the live there, and just everybody who is tuned in with us, whether via radio or via our Facebook Live. We're really happy to have you. We're having a nice relaxed interview conversation here
I love it.
tonight.
I thought it was going to be worse than that.
I wouldn't do that to you, Daryl. I don't do that to anybody.
But then I come ready for you.
You come ready for me? You come body for me? No, not at all. We just. I would not put you under pressure ahead of a competition on Saturday.
I don't worry, man. I'm ready for anything.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
Yes. So Daryl, over the years you continued. You've never had to go back to eliminations.
No. Well, I did because there's a time when I decided I'm going to take at least a year off. And,
why?
But I stayed in there in Calypso doing my thing on the association and so on. And then when I came back with send them home.
Why did you take the break?
Because I was kind of fed up with
Of not winning?
not winning, but
I was gonna put it
the
that way.
unfairness was too glaring. The unfairness was too glaring, and I figured, look, there are times when you just have to step up the stage and let them miss you for a while. And then I came back and I was first runner-up. Boom.
So the unfairness you speak to, is it that in your mind, or is it that you feel, or you felt that there were years that you could have won the crown before 2018?
Of course.
Give me
Well,
an
maybe
example.
not even win the crown, but at least place higher.
Place higher.
Because
okay.
even within those times, I was still learning Calypso, learning to adjust my talent to Calypso and fit into it. I came in there thinking that Calypso would fit itself into what I do, but I had to fit into it. So I'm not saying I wasn't the best at the time, but when I look at my results and so on, it was just very glaring because I know I sang properly, and it's a singing competition. And when I look at the tapes after, I could see guys faux pas and guys going off key. I'm like, yo, So I just had to give myself a little break. I still contributed.
But while it is a singing competition, though, Daryl, and we can talk about that a bit. We'll come back to that aspect of the conversation. So you say it's a singing competition, but within the breakdown of the judges' criteria, you have 20 points, which goes to rendition. And I always argue, and sometimes even in our lunchroom at work when we have the Calypso conversation, I say to people, there are some of the Calypsonians who will come into the competition and probably almost take that whole 20 points. So you're talking about folks like Daryl, you're talking about folks like Bobb, like Dice, you're talking about folks like Webb, persons like Tasha P, because you all have singing voices, you all are singers, you sing. So there's this 20 that you would do very well with, I would think, in a singing Calypso competition. But then the rest of the scores is broken down otherwise. You have 35 points, which goes to lyrics, and I think I remember that very well. You have 35 to melody, and then you have 10 which goes to presentation. Right? It's a singing competition. How do you think that works for you or against you?
Well, I know for sure my lyrics has always been up there. And when I look at what has happened over the years, I have concluded that although I need to say that with a little grain of salt because I came into Calypso, I became successful in Calypso at the time and people didn't like me. But I still see Calypso as a popularity contest. You have to be somebody, which is pretty much unfair, and I would really like to change that. You understand? Because I see guys who really contribute very well, and they're still quote unquote shafted.
Okay.
And I was one of them who suffered that for a long time, because I've always been with Pat, and you know, he gives you the perfect lyrics. And then I realized something about Calypso and politics. I'm like, wait a while, I need to stop singing about love. I'm going through some harsh politics, and the moment I made that decision, it turned around.
Really?
Yeah. So, you know.
and in terms of the melody, do you think that usually you have?
Yeah, melody-wise, I think we're always good. We're always safe, you know. And I meet people overseas. They say, boy, every year I just know one of those is going to happen because you have always been one of those who have been almost perfect.
I think so too.
And I just, that kept me
You've
there.
always been good.
Yeah,
You've always been good.
Yeah.
Good enough. And then there's the 10 for presentation, which I think people misunderstand as well. I think presentation, as what I understand it to be, is really how you present the song. It doesn't necessarily have to do with all the pretty things that you bring on stage.
You know, I
Yes.
think the judges look for a big show on the night.
Yes, I think the props and all of that is really just to give the patrons a good show.
Yeah.
But really, presentation is really about how you deliver the
Yeah,
song.
your personal delivery of the song.
Yeah.
You know, and one of those days I'm going to come on stage and 2 rounds on any props. You know.
Just come and
Because
present.
presentation is really what it is.
Yes.
But Diana?
But I know that because I mean I was judges coordinator for 13 years,
yeah.
so I clearly understand what this presentation means. So based on and I wouldn't get into the Gordon Henderson conversation because Gordon put this whole what would I put, comment on Facebook as to why he thinks somebody like you may be challenged within the Calypso judging criteria, and unless it changes, people like you may not necessarily continue to win. So that's an interesting conversation, and I think it's a discussion I actually would probably want to have at some point in time. And God, I hope I didn't misrepresent what you said, but I hope I understood clearly what you said without really going into details. And I also saw, was it on social media today or was it in the papers? I saw another note about a call to have the Calypso judging criteria changed. And as you sit here, Daryl, we're talking about you as a competitor, but you're also an administrator of Calypso in Dominica. Exactly. Is this something that you think, both as an administrator and as a Calypsonian, that probably should be reviewed in terms of the judging criteria? You're hearing suggestions like one group of judges should judge the first round, and another group of judges should judge the second round, and those kinds of suggestions. What is your view on the judging criteria?
Well, I think we're listening anyway. We're listening to those comments, and you know, I think they're going to keep coming. But when we make changes, we really have to know what we're doing, and it's also important to sort of to benchmark, to see what else is happening, because there's Calypso happening in the region as well, and Trinidad is pretty much the quote-unquote leader in some way because they have systems that work. I think our system, we can, and time changes that. Our system, we can look at certain things and listen to our judges and see what challenges they're having and what changes, because change is something that is just, it's very necessary every now and then. We see every year that there are certain conflicts and so on among the judges panel and so on, and it might be something that we have not put our hands on as yet. So we cannot close our minds to the people's comments. I welcome them, and over the years we'll listen and see, you know, what's going to make sense, what makes sense, and what we can try to see how we can improve, because the product can always be improved. The systems can always work better.
All right, Daryl, we're going to talk some more about you and competition when we come back. But this is one of your contributions for Who They Love is this year. This year. Who They Love, they love. All right?
Love again, boy.
Yes. Who we had a love. All right. Let's get this one. This was Bobb's first contribution to the 2019 Calypso season, and it will be one of his competing songs for Saturday. It's called Who They Love, They Love. Check it out.
Sometimes I wonder why you go through the pain of sacrificing your life to free up people who want to remain in chains. Particularly in political decisions, beware we just don't.
What instrument is that, Daryl?
Also saxophone.
Love it.
It's a strange phenomenon, but as real can be. In the US is going on and right here in this country. When people don't like to see the messenger with the formula for success, but they like the sky and the guile of the man who they don't cannot bring them progress. There are always people who love the status quo. No matter how unjust or ridiculous, some people like it so. Some they like the corruption, some like the victimization, some like the advantage, status and position. So why be a hero? Why not give it to the man above? And let the people reap what they sow. Is who they love, they love. Who they love, they love. People go to church, some stay home and pray, some satisfied just to be a Christian for one day. Sometimes people use a leader who doesn't make them shame, yet they'll put their heart and soul on the line to defend his name. So if America wants a leader who is a pussycat grabber, and sentence wants a prime minister who is a cat eater, and America wants a dictator, a cat chaser, and a big doctor. Have no choice but to wonder how come them fellas so popular. There are always people who love the status quo. No matter how unjust or ridiculous, some of us like it so. Some for friends in high position, some they just want to belong, some for the fed, the rum and the action. So if what the people want is a CEO, that problem don't solve. Let the people reap what they sow. Is who they love, they love. Who they love, they love.
Can we talk about my foundation?
Yes. We come into that.
Okay.
The saxophone you told me it is, Daryl? The saxophone
Yes,
is
yes.
beautiful.
The saxophone was played by Yussi Pavola.
Is that the Caucasian guy?
Yeah, Yussi Pavola.
Yes.
He's from Finland. He lives in Dominica. He's Dominican.
He plays just about every instrument you can think of. Is that the same guy?
And he plays for Mikkel, he plays for Gordon, he travels, he's international.
He is, huh?
And you know, I always like my music to sound different. So I said, you see,
It
this
is.
is what we want to do this year.
Sounds
And
beautiful.
he came in and he just fit himself perfectly into
Yeah,
it.
man.
So it sounds jazzy, just takes the calypso somewhere else. And that's what I always want to do.
You want to be different.
Of course, you've got to blaze your own course. You know?
Is somebody giving you some?
Tell Ferdinand she needs a shoe cam to show your shoes off.
We'll make sure Kenisha does that before you leave.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Tony. Tony and Percy in Texas. Enough love, enough love. Please, man.
You have beautiful shoes on tonight. He has on black. What do you call your kinds of shoes?
Black shiny shoes. And
Yes,
a
yeah.
buckle and so on.
Yes, it looks nice. Daryl, you know something? Your voice is so clear. I mean, when it comes to clarity, if you know when the judging criteria is broken down, I think you would score perfect points for clarity as well.
The face is the face. You have to use your voice is your
Is your,
voice.
and there wasn't the stomach.
Well,
for radio, it's the
power,
stomach.
For power,
Yeah.
For power. But in terms of articulation, it's your face. And your singers have to realize your voice is your entire body. Imagine coming on stage with a terrible back pain. You just can't do
Marie
it.
Claire was here a couple of weeks ago and she said something similar.
Yeah.
The opera singer,
Yeah.
Marie Claire Giraud. She
Yes.
said that it has to come from, it's almost like you're using your entire body to
To
sing.
express, yeah. And,
But the
and
kind
for
of
the
movement-
articulation is the face.
The kind of movements she does make sometimes, I can tell this thing coming out from everywhere. Your arm, your legs, you're everywhere, Daryl.
Everywhere. Everywhere you don't want to mention.
You and I will be afraid to mention that. but seriously though, Daryl, you really have this really crisp, clear voice and you have very good articulation. So I think that is something that the judges probably never have difficulty in hearing what you're singing.
But it took them 17 years.
It took them 17 years
Sadly.
anyhow,
Sadly.
sadly. Well, I was there for 13 of those 17 years.
Well, I don't know.
I think I was there for 13 of the 17 years. I know there was one particular judge, Daryl, who always enjoyed your performances and always enjoyed your singing.
Should have been at least 4 or 5 of them.
I knew that there was one at least.
I'm sure it was a woman. Was it a woman?
It was a man.
Oh, well, nothing wrong.
It was a. We didn't have too many ladies, you know.
That's
Back
true,
then. It
no.
was always a.
It's only now they appear
It
to be
was a
stepping
lot
up.
of guys, yes.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the ladies who like you, Daryl.
Boy, you never know.
No, listen. Last year when you won that crown, I mean, it was clear that it was you. I mean,
I heard people even in the park saying that's the first time
No, it was clear.
nobody could dispute where that
it
crown
was
needed to go,
undisputable.
you know?
Yeah, it was.
Let's
It
see
was.
what's going to happen on Saturday.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We will see. We shall see. Like this.
But it just put my strengths forward, you know, the same
Yes.
clarity you're talking
Yeah.
about, articulation, expression.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that's my strongest areas. So
Mhm.
just come expecting that, you know. And
Just-
really good pure calypso.
Yes.
Good presentation.
Once we have good sound and we can hear you well,
Yeah.
I think that is also important. So Daryl, let us talk now about nights of competition.
Yeah.
We will get to the point where the winning moment, the crowning moment of 2018. But I want to understand, what happens when a Calypsonian is preparing for competition. So on the day of competition, probably we won't talk much about the quarterfinals or semifinals per se, but on the day of a semifinals, what happens the week leading up to the semifinals? Give us a sense of what happens.
Well, first of all, when I'm in semi-finals and so on, I never do any special prop presentation. I personally think that it's not necessary.
You just come in your pretty clothes, yes.
Yeah, I think it's not necessary. to me it's even a sign of some level of weakness. But anyhow, I won't say too much about it. And it's more about internalizing your song. You know, that moment of calm, that moment of meditation, and let the song into your spirit and let your body express the song. And I do that up to the final moment I go on stage. So usually I don't come to the competition. If I'm singing number 15, I come at probably 10, because I do not like the buzz and the excitement backstage and all that.
I was coming to that. What is it like backstage?
I just don't like it.
Are your fellas just chug on their fellas throwing little feel?
Not really. It's just always too congested.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the kind of space you want to have that peace of mind and just you and those lyrics. And I try to not be there for too long. So I would probably come at number 10 if I'm singing at number 15, change up and just sit in my chair, me and my song alone. And you know, I tend to do the same thing even when I perform at, you know, like last night at the Teenage Pageant. You know, I do the same thing. You know, I just go into my little cocoon, because the last thing I ever want to do is to make a mistake on stage.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always about me and that song, me and those lyrics. I come there, I put on a big headphone, and I don't want anybody bothering me.
Somebody said you were not even in the tent itself, backstage last year.
No, because I couldn't stay there. The moment I walked in, it was too hot, it was congested, it was a tent for Sai and myself, but there were so many people in there. So fortunately, I went out and I used the vehicle in the park for my dressing room. I'm happy that God didn't send the rain, and I won from a vehicle outside. But I just cannot stand being in a crowded area at a time like that. It's one of my most meditative moments.
Mm-hmm.
It's just me and those lyrics, and I breathe. It's just me.
How is everybody else normally backstage?
People are kind of busy and jumping around and so on. You know, you seldom find one very calm person. You know, but if you're looking for one,
nervousness, do you sense nervousness sometimes?
Yes, and it happens to me too. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every time I go on stage, I feel those butterflies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the moment I put my first foot on stage, it goes away. So it's a natural thing, but you have to find a way to control it, and you have to find a way to just stick with your lyrics all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to tell Lucas that, but you know.
Imagine, I came to speak to you tonight with a very blank sheet of paper. It's not very often that I get much time to really prepare to do this. I'll be very honest to say, you know, because sometimes I'm just, you know, so caught up otherwise. I came with a blank sheet of paper, and I always feel that when I come here, people need to tell me their story, so I do not need to come with anything. But I did write Forgetful Family here. I couldn't help it. And then you mentioned Lucas. I met him actually in town this week, and I said, Lucas, what happened? You know,
He's one of my closest friends, you know, in Calypso.
Really?
Yeah, we travel together. Over the past few years, we've been going to New York together. So we get a lot of time together, stay in the same place. You know, we travel, we are sitting next to each other on the plane, up and down. So we develop a bond, you know, and he's a guy, I love his vibes. He's a very honest person. He's a very good person. And I think I want to try to help him to get over that phobia.
Yes.
But
and he said he really just. I told him, somebody told me that they were looking at you and they were saying, Lucas, don't turn. Lucas, don't turn. And he said that is what really happened. He just turned for a moment. And he said it was just really just a line or something that
the last line, you
that
know.
he messed up on.
Yeah, the last
you know?
line, and that has happened before in other songs. You know,
Oh my goodness!
Just when he has to exit, you know, something happens. I don't know.
But Daryl, he sings about a Calypso Monarch, Caressa, which is another one that I love. I mean, he really blows us out of the water. So he sings about Caressa. It's one of my favorite Calypsos this year, actually. I want to ask you this. Should people take Calypso seriously and personally? And I have it here. Should people take Calypso personally and as seriously as we do sometimes? So Lucas sings a song written by Alex Bruno about Caressa. Should Caressa get upset with Alex Bruno for writing about him? Should Caressa get, and I'm not saying that's the case, I'm just asking this. Should they take it that seriously and that personally? Should we, as patrons, because you sing about who they love, or because somebody else sings about somebody, you know, darkness, whatever. Should we, whatever the case is, should the people who in some cases it's written about people, it's written about Caressa, should we as patrons take this thing as personally and seriously as some do?
No, I'll tell you when it really gets to the point where it becomes uncomfortable and people react to it. And maybe I would feel the same way too. For instance, if somebody says something about you that is so untrue, like somebody calls you a thief, or somebody wants to speak to your sexuality and say something untruth about you as far as your sexuality, when it goes really, really low, it's when it's not necessary at all. That is when it becomes too personal. But there are other things, apart from that kind of, the whole depraved kind of thing that you can do to somebody in a song. I don't think guys should take it so personal, apart from going that far. You understand what I'm saying? I don't think, because, for instance, Strunter tried his best on the stage last year to say things about me that wasn't true, and we're still very good. Strunter knows he can call me anytime if he needs anything. We're still very, very good. I wish the politicians would behave like that.
Yes, it's Calypso.
and there are guys who have tried to kind of, say things about me off and on, but I don't take it that way. And Calypso is so complete. There's this aspect of Calypso that allows you to respond. There's a thing called piconk. You understand? I can go on stage and just respond to him. You hit him a lower blow. You understand what I'm saying? But the only time I think it's not necessary is when guys go too low and you say something that is really, really defaming, something that would affect the person's family. You have to be very careful with that.
You have to be careful with that. Okay. Daryl, we're going to take another one and then we're going to talk about last year. And which one is one of those from last year? Nothing plus nothing?
Last year would be go and sing the truth, boy.
Go and sing the truth.
And when people don't like you.
When people don't like you.
You're from Florida? I wish. What's your name? Somebody already told me to my young lady. Might be hearing us, doesn't it?
This old girl friend of mine was letting me know why I am a hypocrite. From where all you fellas take calypso and look where all you bring it. From a human rights champion to a defender of what we know to be wrong. This country is in a crisis, and look at the calypsonians. All you like ostrich, all you hellberry in the sun. Yeah, so you want to be a calypso king with these passive topics and excuses. You just come and sing. Go and sing the truth, oh. Go and sing the truth. The judges and them, they don't like you, but the public will appreciate you. What do you have to lose? What you trying to prove? And when you sing much truth, they'll accuse you of carrying your country's dirty laundry. Don't worry, the truth will make you free. Make you free. Goodbye.
Yeah, people say the shoes.
All you not giving back to the public like the public can afford it. It's the big boys with the deep pockets getting complimentary tickets. All you big calypso in political color, looking high, a mask and this Some of all you on the radio playing not one calypso, just spreading false propaganda and creating horror, I will go insane if I hear the name of Thompson Fountain or enough Clinton again. Go and sing the truth, oh, go and sing the truth. Yes, to my tie in a final show, they say break the tie, the chief judge said, boy, compromising the integrity of the show. When you sing what you do, accuse you of betraying integrity. No more the truth will make you free.
I give it all. I could have given that to you. I could have given that to you. That's all the nonsense was happening backstage. You're carrying us in time. It's blue. I know you're the original. I'll judge for the time. Judge the same. That's high. Somebody's reminding me, don't forget to talk about his foundation. We will talk about his foundation, don't you worry. But we must talk about what led to the foundation, which would have been the crowning last year. And we'll talk about it in a while. That was song number 2, 2018. Ay, ay, ay. 20 minutes to the hour of 10 o'clock. This is the In the Spotlight radio show with King Bobb.
When Moses brought the Hebrews out of Egypt, they never liked him. They enjoyed it, but they never liked him. When Martin Luther King brought them freedom, some never liked him. They enjoyed it, but some never liked him. So when people who don't know me don't like me, don't
such a relatable song. I think that was what really drove this song last year. I think many people could relate to this one. I have my headphones on really loud and I'm really digging.
The thing about that song,
Uh-huh.
so many people can relate to it, you know, in the workplace and so on. And there are 3 writers involved in that song.
3 writers?
Yeah, Steve Astafan is one of them.
Steve Astafanos?
Yeah.
Steve
Astafan.
Steve?
Yeah. He contributed a lot of lyrics in that song.
Really?
I did some, and you know, Pat just kick us off. You know?
Yeah.
And it just came together. So big ups to you. He writes too, you know.
He does.
Yeah, man.
Good night to you, Steve. Hey, you hear that?
Perfect, huh?
Don't like you. They wouldn't like you. For they know not what they do and say. Take it from me. Don't like his blows. Who feels it knows? Mercy, Lord. All right, Daryl. I think I'm misbehaving.
It's all good. It's all good.
Maybe I can relate too. Maybe that's why. Yeah.
Maybe.
It is in fact a relatable song, you know, because really and truly, I've heard people who say that they don't like me, and I don't know
They
why.
can't tell you why.
They
No,
can't
when you
tell you
ask
why.
them, they can't tell you why.
Why don't you like me? You know, tell me why. you know?
But one of the things I've learned, it's okay not to like someone, but don't treat somebody bad because you don't like them. Because when you ask yourself why, you can't really find an answer.
Yeah.
If you can't find an answer, okay, but you can't really find an answer.
Somebody told me keep my night job and let Bob see. I was just enjoying
It's
the
a song for everybody.
Okay. I fell in love with that song. Straight message to the point. Yes, indeed. Yes, haters. That's what you call it, right?
Yeah.
But Daryl, these were two powerful songs this year and last year, and I think you went into the competition knowing, I think you do that every year, but I think last year you may have gotten a little nudge from maybe people like myself and others who felt like, you know, you were probably heading for that crown last year.
I mean, I've not heard from you as yet, but I've heard from a lot this year already. It's the same thing.
Really? Oh my goodness. No, I don't think you've heard from me. I actually posted on Facebook last year about you, but...
The last thing I heard from a guy, he said, you know, that's the first time I see a king defending so strong.
Yeah.
But I think guys have had years when he's defending pretty strong.
Yeah, man, of course. I mean, everybody knows that Dice is, you know, one of my favorite Calypsonians. He's right up there. There is no question about that. But I'll tell you, Daryl, you know, I over the years and even being within the Calypso judging space, I have encountered many different Calypsonians, and I think every year I probably find someone that I say, you know, but I did that for you a couple of years ago, a few years ago actually. I always thought that you had a beautiful voice. Sometimes I probably paid attention to people saying, boy, his voice is maybe not a Calypso voice. Like we said early on in the program, for those who probably tuned in a bit later on in the program, you actually asked the question then, what is a Calypso voice? And you further went...
And I've never gotten an answer to
somebody
that.
kind of tell you...
It's as if I'm embarrassing someone when I ask them that. But I usually ask them when they tell me that. You know, but I really wanted to know, you know.
But I'll tell you, Daryl, you're among my favorites though. No,
I didn't even know.
You are. I find you sing well. You have good lyrics, and I think you present with a passion. You do this with a passion, and I think you love what you do. I think you enjoy it. I think you winning last year probably propelled you to really just continue. Absolutely. And to continue driving and going after more crowds, I would presume.
Oh, yes.
But take us back to last year, Daryl. Take us back to last year and this competition, and take us take us to the. I was on stage, I think, last year. When the results were read, because I think my GM wasn't there, so I actually went on to do. I didn't get to present to you. I got to present to Dice, who was first runner-up, I think, last year, and you know, it was amazing. So for you, tell us what was last year like for you.
Well, I knew I was winning.
You knew you were winning.
Yeah, I knew I was winning pretty much from quarterfinals, you know. Yeah, the kind of response that I got from.
No, but response is one thing, you know, Daryl.
Yes, but I just knew that when I looked at the competition, I saw so many people want to sing about Maria. I was like, you know, come on, guys, you know what I mean? So I know definitely taking a different path is just going to put you somewhere in a cocoon by yourself.
Okay.
And that just worked perfectly. And yes, it worked out pretty nicely. But I knew I was winning. I don't want to sound arrogant for Dinah.
Yes, please don't.
I'm just telling you. I feel pretty much
the same this year.
You know?
Okay.
You know.
Alright.
I think my songs are pretty powerful. The two of them combined, you know. It's pretty much what the finals is calling for. And then when I look at the competition, I don't see much competition at all. And I just have to say I'm just saying this because I guess you want me to talk, right? But it's not to sound arrogant.
It's confidence.
It's really going to happen on the night.
Yes.
Why is it is confidence? It is truth.
Because you might have some.
You got me to tell you what I'm feeling.
Yeah. What was the medication you had?
No, actually, I never touched that thing after that day. So yeah. So yeah. Nowadays I just go to the sea when I have a flu.
Okay. So you feel confident.
But thanks to Val, you know, we really had to chase it out a little sooner.
Okay.
So Val, we got down. And Bianca, thank you very much, Dr. Roberts, to the active, not the active, the antibiotics and the steroids and everything and so on. And then I got back some of my voice.
Okay.
And which is still not 100% back, but you know, it's good enough for competition. I can fight strong.
Yes, you ready?
Just with the right warm up and and me do it myself.
So you ready?
Yeah, but I got a really hard lash from that flu.
You did.
Yeah.
Well, it's been bothering me a bit as well, but you know, I may have a job to do on Friday night, and I've not given a good thought to it as yet. So I hope it does not come my way. But Daryl, take us back to the night of the Calypso finals. The results are being read. I think it was Bobb, Dice, Sai,
Tasha,
and Tasha. So no, I'm just thinking of the four that were called up. They were called up.
Right.
So it was Tasha, then Sai. That leaves Daryl and King Dice on stage. Do you remember how the two of you all were on stage, standing next to each other? Do you remember at all?
Well, it wasn't the first time he and I had gotten to that point. I must say there isn't a lot of chemistry between the two of us.
Okay.
We're very different characters. We've grown to appreciate each other a little more because we travel together quite often.
Okay.
But there wasn't the holding of hands. And
right.
And
I'm trying to remember myself because I was right there on stage. I'm trying to remember, but I just don't remember.
Yeah. I'm sure probably if it was somebody else, probably we would have been more embracing the moment a little more. You know? But I do remember that when it was announced that he was the first runner-up winner, that he just
they try to confuse it.
and I, to tell the truth, I just knew it was happening.
You knew it was happening.
Yeah, I knew it was happening. One thing about winning, you tend to know when you're winning. It comes at you and you have to know how to deal with it. But there was a time when I looked back and I saw Sai, at that moment of victory just kind of, it just took over me for a moment, and I just jumped on him, just like, wow, he did it, and because he, for the first time, he placed,
Yes.
And I was so happy for him, and I was happy for what was happening with me, and I just jumped on him, and I hurt him actually,
You
I
did.
hit his finger.
You're strong in secret, my Daryl.
I decided, boy, you messed up my finger there. And I guess it's sorry. And then from that point, I just took control and remember who I was and what the moment meant to me. And in the middle of the song, I just broke down. I said, thank you so much, folks, for being there. This is my 17th year in Calypso, and I'm the winner finally. And people just came up to the stage, and everybody tried to touch me because it was an emotional moment, not just for me. for a lot of people who have been following my career. And my life turned around pretty much from that point.
Let's talk about the turnaround. What happened since you became Calypso Monarch, and I guess that's where the foundation is going to come in. I know that over the Christmas season you did some work with some underprivileged children. I know that you're now the sponsor of 4 children.
Oh, you know a lot.
Yeah, I do. I do. I'm quite, don't worry about that. So Daryl, really, what happened after you became Calypso Monarch? I know you were quite active. You did quite a bit of traveling, but outside of that, I think you also felt that you had a purpose.
Yeah.
And tell us more about what happened.
Well, I always felt that I always wanted to sort of redefine the Calypso monarchy. Not just someone who comes and sings a song that people like within a crumb and you run away with a little bit of money. It's a little bit of money.
You're an administrator.
And then they'll see you next season. I felt that the Calypso Monarch is supposed to be an ambassador and he has to have a platform. And I've been thinking, from the time I step out into the streets, people have been telling me, they gave me a whole job description, what they want me to do, what this is, blah, blah. So I said, look, I have to just kind of put all of it together. And then I started traveling, and I started organizing meetings with folks in the diaspora. I met with folks in Texas, beautiful audience. I met with folks in New York, and so on, and we had wonderful meetings, and from then I bounced ideas out of them. What is your expectation of the monarchy? What would you like to see me do? And I got some pretty interesting roles. One of them being, we would like you to go up to the hospital and ask the people what did you do with the container that we sent to them after Maria. I said, all right, I will do that. And I did that. You kind of things that people.
Did you get answers?
Unfortunately, I didn't get an answer. The answer I got was, we don't know.
Okay.
Which was very sad. But that's what I had to report. And I said, it's okay. I can be the conduit between you and Dominica and so on and whatnot. And I offered myself. But I had to do more than that. So I just woke up one morning with the very bright idea that I should do something for children. And I always feel in life, after I know that it is not how much money you make, how much fame you've been able to gather, or how much you've been able to, how much nice clothes and nice shoes and where you go. It is really how much lives you've been able to touch during your journey, and that is something I live by. And I always felt the little that I get, I want to share it with somebody. I want to share it with a few people. And then God just gave me this inspiration that, Bob, go out there and identify 5 children and work with them. Find a reason why you choose that 5. And then I said to myself, okay, there are a lot of single parents out there, a lot of mothers who do not have the right kind of support from the children's fathers and so on. And it suits me so perfectly, and I'll tell you why now. So I said, if I choose 5, then I'll have 3 girls and 2 boys, or I'll have two girls and 3 boys. I prefer balance. And I know it's going to be a costly thing, but I found a way to work around it. I know it's going to be costly because I personally, I'll tell you boldly here on your show, I live on the cusp of poverty. I'm okay, I get by, I eat, I'm clothed, but the things that I have to go through sometimes to pay the bills, I just keep it to myself and I share it on my knees with the Creator, and I get through sometimes. So I live on the cusp of poverty. A lot of people would think otherwise, but yes, it's true. If you know my story deep within, there are only a few people who know, and they are my angels. So then why I became so passionate about helping these children is because, now this is where the interview becomes a bit emotional, but I won't cry. Maybe you might. I won't cry because I've cried before. But the one thing I'm uncomfortable about is the fact that my daughter is listening to this right now, and I always feel I don't want her to. Because she feels that, I like the fact that you're saying that, so we have to work on that. And then I always get the calls that I need to do my nails, I need my hair. But I always felt for Dinah that I've not been the complete father that I wanted to be to my kids.
Oh my.
Yes, boldly, I'll tell you straight up. I never felt that I gave them enough. I never felt that I gave them enough of my time, enough of the resources that they needed. We were still lucky, we were blessed. Abigail is now in university in Cuba. Dania will go off soon. We're happy, we're getting by, but I never felt I gave them enough time because I love my music so much. I spend more time developing my musical skills than being with them.
And you have 2 girls, right?
Yeah, my two beautiful daughters, Abigail and Dania. And I felt I cheated them, and I spent more time with my music than being the father that I wanted to be. So this foundation thing, helping the 4 children, is really to make up. It's just a desperate move to make up, to be what I couldn't be.
Oh my God.
And a lot of people think it's maybe for flash or fame or whatever, but it's really, is in my soul. There's this burning fire inside of me that's really at me all the time to do better. And I want
It's a good way to make up, Daryl.
Well, I hope it is, and I hope it really works. I know the kids are very happy. They're very happy. They're very happy with me as a person, with the contributions that I've made so far. And how do I do that? People might wonder, Bob, if you live on the cusp of poverty.
I was going to go to that, so yes.
But you know something about the monarchy, Diana? Don't cry. You know. The monarchy it brings so much love to you. When you go out there, people respect you, people revere you so much. They're willing to give you an expensive watch. They're willing to give you an expensive tablet. All I say to them is, let me tell you something. I have 4 children who are deprived of a lot of things back home. Whatever you want to give me, give it to them. And then sometimes I have a ton of things coming in and I just give it to the children. And that's how I do it, and that's how any other monarchy could do it, because I know the monarchy is a well-loved position.
Your daughter says, don't worry, I still love you, from Abby and I. Oh.
I guess she's trying to make me cry, but Dini, I love you too. And maybe you should go to bed now.
No, don't go to bed, then you stay with us.
So it's because I felt that need to compensate for what I didn't give to the 2 of them. And I want to say special thanks to Daryl, like you said, who's Daniel's mom. I want to say special thanks to Patricia Coffey, who's Abigail's mother, who have really, pick up the slack.
But let me ask you, Daryl, was it a situation that you were not able to probably give them what they wanted, or was it a situation that you just couldn't be there to give them the type of attention or the type of love probably that you were supposed to give to them?
I think that the latter is more appropriate in terms of the response to that, because there was a time when, that's why I wish she was sleeping, there was a time in high school I find Dania rebelled, and I started asking myself questions, is it me,
Was Dania the one who ran to you on stage?
Yes. She's my little angel, we fight a lot, and I don't know if it's healthy for a relationship, but we are pretty much connected. She knows who to call and she wants whatever she needs. And I just felt I would have to go to the school too often to address issues with Dania and so on, and I felt it was because of my absence in her life. Not that I wasn't there. Every time she called, I'd answer. Every time she comes to me, I'd be there. But I felt that I was too distant from her, I was too distant from Abigail. And the 2 of them, I think, rebelled in their own ways. So this foundation thing, it's not ready to show off. It's my life story that a lot of people don't know about. And it's just a desperate move to make up. When you want to correct your karma. And I've always had a good relationship with them, but I just felt that I have not given enough. And it's not that I'm hard on myself. Yes, I've been hard on myself, but I feel that I could have been a better father. So here I am with these 2 beautiful boys, beautiful girls, and I hope to be in their lives at least throughout their education lives. I want to negotiate with folks outside for scholarships for them. Eventually they will go up to university. And so when I want to be there for them throughout their
win, lose or draw.
Win, lose or draw, I'm going to do this. I will always be king. I'll always be the 27th monarch of Dominica.
27?
Yes.
You know the number?
Yes,
Okay.
and it doesn't matter what happens on Saturday. This journey is going to continue.
All right. I suspect, many of us didn't know that aspect. What I will ask you though, Bob, outside of this though, what are you doing in terms of those two beautiful girls of yours, in terms of making up for the times lost?
Well, Dania is making sure that she gets her fair share, because Dania is a flashy little girl. Nails always have to be done. She likes nice clothes. Her hair has to be done. So daddy, but I'm just saying that to kick off, really.
Yes,
but the most important thing is being their friend. I always tell them, I want to be your friend. Whatever it is, whatever exists between the two of us, let me be your friend. And I really want to be one of your best friends. I may not be the only one. So we have friendship, we have good laughter between us. When you see us, you see she making some weird jokes with me. She'll tell me about my new goatee, daddy got that, and so on. She has so much liberty to say what she wants to me.
It's great, but it's nice.
That sometimes, yes, my experience right there. That sometimes I just feel she's maybe being a little rude, but I take it from her because, as I said before, I could have been there.
You're trying to make
And no, I just want to be her friend. I want to be there for her.
her friend, but her father.
Yeah. And Abigail, the same thing. I want to be there because I love those girls. So
Well,
much.
somebody says it's never too late.
No, it's never too
It's
late.
never too late. Okay, it's a bit after 10, but I really wanted to give an opportunity to take some calls for Daryl. And even before I even said that, the phone here just lit up. But the numbers are 449-3095, 449-3096, and 449-3097. Let's take some calls for King Bob. Good evening. Please don't listen to the radio.
Okay, alright, I'm going to try not to listen to the radio.
Oh, Ophelia, is that you?
One of my best friends in music.
Yes, and I have to call you this tonight. You have been there for those children. Behave yourself.
Uh-oh.
You have been there for those children. You have given up a lot more than a lot of fathers have given, and I know that, Daryl.
Thank you.
So please, be number 27. Be the best that you can be, and you are a strong man. Sometimes the naughty things out there, should I say things, people want to bother you, but your ability to focus and the example that you can be for others is still there. So please, knock yourself, but not too hard.
Okay.
You have your constituency. Some of us love you. I am one of them, and Mark knows, so no problem. And I want to wish you well. I know you'll do your best. It's going to be a tough competition, but like you said, you are number 27. Love you plenty.
Thank you. And her husband is also my best friend as well.
Thank you, Ophelia.
Thank you.
Pleasant night. Hello, good evening. Hello. Dania.
Yes,
How are you?
I'm fine.
Are you a good girl?
I'm always
What would you like to say to your daddy tonight?
I would like to tell him, don't worry, he's making up for it now, he's doing well, you're up and I love him, and don't worry.
Okay. Yes, we're here.
Oh, hi, Dad.
She wants to talk to you, Daryl.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
I love you. I'm okay.
Stay that way. Stay that way, alright? For your mommy. Okay?
Hi, Daddy. I will. Just want to let you know that you love me to the friend, and you're doing a very good job. Making up for it very well.
Thank you, Miss Bob. Thank you.
No problem.
God bless you.
All right.
Yes.
Goodbye, Dania. She's a good child. She's a good child. 449-2095, 449-2096, 449-2097. We're taking some calls for Dominica's 2018 Calypso Monarch. Daryl, what is the next song for 2019, Daryl? There's quite a few of them there. You have,
Born in Dominica, I'm not selling her.
what is the name they have in
She's
here?
born in Dominica. Let her be free.
No, is there something else?
Maybe Let Her Be Free.
Let her be free. Let her be free is definitely the one that's there. So, but it's actually Born in Dominica?
Born in Dominica is the first part of it. It's a long thing.
What is the name of the song?
Born in Dominica, Let Her Be Free.
Born in Dominica,
dash, Let Her Be Free.
Let her be free. Okay, so well, it's there as Let Her Be Free. So let us take some of that while we continue to talk with Daryl Bobb. We will wrap up in just a while as well, but we're talking still. Music now.
Highlight of my read.
Huh?
The highlight of my read, in my personal opinion, I'll share it with you just.
Okay, cool. Let's take
It seems when you are the Calypso king, you're wearing a government crown. And you'd be mad to sing songs to save your country from going down. Now being in opposition has become a crime today. And before the morning comes, the police will come. We'll come and take your freedom away. If I could stop, maybe I would. You want to shut me up, then treat all my people good. If a man was stand for country, then go on and stand. You sell your conscience so you not pray. To sing a song of praise, Lord, and to see it going on. I'm born in Dominica, I was suffer. If I must suffer, victimization must end. For my country, let it be, let it be. Free up, Dominica, let her be free. I still taking the blows, but I was sucking to them. I was sucking to them. And what's not the landlord was telling me? He's talking with water in his mouth. Since Ross come from the country, what's not my late mother's town turned upside down. Where in the world have you seen me born? A government fighting against culture. Anyone can win election, but to take such a thing and watch me, a champion doing a Calypso crown.
It takes a champion to win a Calypso crown. Hello to you. Good evening on the telephone. Good evening.
Hi, Colin, how you doing? Thank you so much. In a little while, for Diana and I, we're going to talk about the highlight of my reign. You need to listen to that. So, Colin.
What was that?
We're having very strong feedback right now.
I'm not sure what happened. Hello?
Yes, hello.
Okay,
good,
go
good.
ahead.
So yeah, I was saying that you want to listen to that, the highlight of my reign, and see you on Wednesday morning.
Oh. Okay, well let.
Colin.
Okay, Colin. Okay, Colin. Okay. All right, Colin. Good evening. All right. Daryl, I probably we should
Colin,
just we should
stay
segue to that. I suspect Colin was gonna let the cat out of the bag.
Yes,
she was. Then you let the cat out of the bag, Daryl.
In your own time for that.
In my own time.
Let's carry on.
Are you sure?
Nobody caught that.
Nobody caught that. Okay.
Colin, we love you. Stay tuned.
When even the police is for some and not others. You have a governor people, all them against against their will. It is only possible until they find us strong. They find us corrective and of the camel. Oh yes, people must choose their own leader. No politician should ever cheat his way into power. Oh, if I want us at our country, then for what else we stand? To sell your conscience so you're not afraid. To sing your song when it's wrong, there's a sin going on. I'm born in Dominica, I was suffer. If I was suffer, victimization or standing for my country, let it be, let it be. Free up, Dominica, let her be free.
So the two songs taking us into the Calypso finals, taking Bobb into the Calypso finals, King Bobb into the Calypso finals. The first one again, Bobb, is
The first one, who they love,
They Love, Who They Love, They Love. And this one is Born Dominica, Let Her Be Free. And you feel confident with these two
Absolutely.
going into
Absolutely.
Saturday's finals.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah,
We have some competition though.
There's no doubt that this is the strongest
Yes.
combination of two songs.
But there's some competition.
Well, there has to be.
There has to be.
Yeah, because we're going into a competition.
We're going into a competition.
So we're ready for that.
We're ready for that.
Yeah.
Let us talk about what you thought. I suspect it has something to do with color. Was in fact the highlight of your reign as Calypso Monarch in Dominica for 2018.
When I got to New York in December, I received a message on Messenger. Bob, I would like, can you come to the hospital to visit my mom? She's in hospital right now. But
In
she didn't
Dominica?
give me-
New York?
No, it was in New York, yes,
Okay.
in Queens. And I said, of course I'd come, not knowing who I'm speaking with, not knowing who the patient is or anything. And she said, of course. No, I said to her, of course I'll come. I'd be more than willing to be there. To
Your
visit
humble
your mom.
servant.
Yeah, your mom is a Dominican. Of course, I'm the Calypso Monarch and everything. And then we chat for a little bit. She said, thank you. I could feel her energy right there in the chat, and she was so excited. And then I closed the chat. Then I gave her my number, so we got hooked up on WhatsApp. And then her mother picture came up. And when I opened the picture, I saw that was one of my biggest fans.
Really?
Every time I sang that mass camp, that lady was always at the front with a Dominica flag at the front, holding up. And she was like a rock. She was always there, always there. And when I won, I met her in town, we took pictures together. She kissed me, she called me, she said, Bob, I love you. And I didn't know that was the person. But anyhow, I went to the hospital and she was really like giving me a surprise with balloons and everything. And Karen planned everything. That's her daughter who just called a while ago. And I walked into the room. By the way, her name is Helen Alcindor from Granby.
Okay.
She passed. But she told me, after we spoke and we laughed, she was so excited to see me. The family told me, Bob, that's the first time she smiled so much, because she was suffering with cancer. And she told me, I want you to sing for me, So I said, okay. And that was the first time I sang the first verse of Who They Love, They Love. And I sat next to her and I sang the song. So she was the first person who actually got a taste of the song. And Callan was very excited. Callan did a video. And that video kind of went viral a little bit. And I met a lot of people who told me thank you for what, people who were friends and family and so on. But to me, Fudana, that was the highlight of my reign. To me, that was the most important thing I did. Because you know why? About 3 days later, Callan called me, Mom just passed. So I felt I did something good for someone who is now in heaven.
Indeed.
And I'm so thankful for being a monarch because of that. There's so much emotional things that, around me and being a monarch and everything. I guess that's how God had planned it, that I impact lives and so on. But I'm really happy I did that. There's nothing better that I did during the year to me in my heart than that one moment spending with an angel who was just about to depart. And I'll never forget that.
And she was a fan.
Yeah, her memorial is on Wednesday morning. That's why I said to Callan, see you on Wednesday morning. I must be in Granby.
Oh, it's here in Dominica.
Yes, they have traveled to Dominica. Her husband is here.
Callan, I know Callan. Is the person I'm thinking? I think that's the name on. Her name is Colin Law on Facebook. It could be. It could be. We'll see. Tell me if it's the person I'm thinking.
Colin is a bubbly soul, very, very, very upbeat person, and loves carnival. And
could be the same person.
yeah, so I will be with the family on Wednesday.
Okay, awesome.
So the journey continues and stuff in the memory of Helen Alcindor, who has been very supportive of me. And for Diana, I don't care what anybody say. That not even looking after the children.
Yes.
That for me was the biggest thing that happened, and I love the memory of that. My song is but I it's not the bridges that makes a country or country. It's what's inside the people inside that country.
I actually have a couple of songs here that says track 1. I don't know what they are. Let me just see quickly.
Child of Mine, that one is Child of Mine. But that previous one, for Diana, you really hold me on that one.
Well, I don't know. If I hold you on that one, they put them in there for me.
I myself back to that moment, I don't even know the name of the song.
Really?
Wow.
That must have been one of the very early
my archive is actually bigger than my brain capacity.
Probably. How can you not remember your own song?
Yeah, because probably it's just not being played in my environment. But that's a nice song.
It is. You want me to go back to it?
No, we can move on.
All right.
Mothers, keep an eye on your girl child. They have some shots out there with their eyes on them. Society full of grown men who prey on young women.
This song is so appropriate for the kids thing.
Keep an eye on your girl child.
Somebody's actually saying here that the story of your reign actually touched them. So
Thank you.
I kind of understand. I was a little mad at you last year when you didn't want to come on immediately after you
I
won.
couldn't just come as the king. I had to come with substance.
Do you remember, Clarence? Do you remember?
I promise you that I'll come, but I want to come with a story. I want to come with something that I've done. You know?
And I think you came good.
Yeah, man.
came
Yeah.
good.
It's a better show than what it would have been.
I think so too.
Yeah, man.
I should turn you to my producer.
But you never know. Assistant.
Assistant to the assistant.
Yeah.
I don't know what this other one is, Daryl. I just wanted to touch one or two before we wrap up.
I remember you were crying. Oh, I've sung a lot of songs. It's just wow. You see how music lives bigger than you.
I tell you. But you know, I can tell the difference in your voice, huh?
Oh yeah?
Yeah. You can tell those that were probably a little earlier on, and you can tell the growth. You can see the growth.
All right. That's
Yes,
nice.
I think so.
That one is back to the drawing board.
is serious. This one-man government seems so dangerous. Ministry of Health is to go back to Detroit.
I remember this one. Yes, I remember this one. Yes.
That year I sang the third verse of Wolf Time.
So I was gonna ask you, have you ever been part of the Forgetful family at all?
I'm not sure if I should say that, you know.
You should.
But that year, I could have simply said that I sang the last verse for emphasis.
Really?
Because I've been looking at Calypso's vintage Calypso. That's how I got the inspiration for the saxophone in the new song. It's from going deep into the vintage stuff. I modernized it pretty much, but you know, it's that style that I wanted to copy. And these guys, they sing their last verse the second time. Then here's what happened.
That's not allowed.
But
that's allowed in competition.
I'm happy you're saying that now. Because the very next year, you know what happened?
Tell me.
My good friend Caressa did the same thing, and the judges put him through. And that was why I decided I had to give Calypso a break.
Really?
Because it was just obvious that they just didn't like me, they didn't want. He did the same thing. And they put him through, and they couldn't pull him back. So he came on the radio and he said, yeah, I apologize, but the judge's decision is fine.
Oh, really?
Don't you remember that?
Listen,
you were the coordinator.
Listen, Daryl.
You were the coordinator.
Maybe I was taking a nap when that happened.
There
were times that I'd rest my head on the desk.
That was so
Pepper would knock me and say, wake up.
Yeah, because the media actually came to me and said, Bob, what do you think of that? Because I know it happened to you last year. I said, well, our judges are crying out for help.
I do remember that.
Yeah, our judges are crying out for help. You know, the favoritism thing is just overcoming the competition.
So you think they didn't like it? There was once or twice you give them a blow or two, you know, in song, didn't you?
Well, it's all Calypso, you know.
It's all Calypso. Not personal, right?
Nah, it's not personal. I love them, you know, whether they love me or not, I love them.
Yes.
What can you buy your love?
Who can you buy your love?
Yeah.
Say, okay, signal band.
Yeah.
I need buy your love. Daryl, we have to get ready to wrap up. And I know there must be a few people that you want to single out to give some acknowledgement to, you know, in your final words. I'll allow you the opportunity to do that. If there's anything of significance you felt that you may have left out and probably didn't get a chance to mention before, this is your opportunity.
Well, the first thing I want to say
is
that
the floor is yours.
This is a very hard part, because if you miss people, you tend to, you know. So I just want to say thanks to everyone who has been part of my development. I also want to say thanks to everybody who's been under my wings, who's been close, who's been far distant, everybody who's connecting to me via the phone. I just want to say special thanks. I want to say thanks to the Masscamp team as well, who they're very instrumental in developing our members, and I am a beneficiary of that. You know, so I want to single out Valda, Henry, Rosanna, Steve, Bianca, Annie Aaron, Boston, Johnson Boston, Pat Aaron, the rock in there, you know. And if I miss anyone, please forgive me. But that's why I don't like this name thing, you know. You tend
Sometimes you have to though. There are some people worthy of it.
Yes, but you know, it's not something that was planned. So I just want to say special thanks to everyone who has wished me well, sent me prayers, people who up to now want me to retain. I want to say thank you. And I hope that God gives me the health and strength and sharpens my talent in the next few days, that I can come and give you that satisfaction that you want. But keep doing it, because all I do is pass the love on to somebody else, pass the love on to some children and stuff. Yes, the Christmas party was a lot of fun, and we will be doing that every year. So folks, you know, you're not doing it for me, you're really doing it for a whole lot of other people who are in my circles. And I love you, and I thank you, and I bless you. And I really hope that we can all enjoy my career as much as I personally enjoy it, doing it for everyone. It's a lot of work, but I went to St. Mary's Academy, and the motto there was Ora Elabora. So I'm prepared to put the work in. And the sacrifices I've made to stay in Dominica, to be a father to my children, to play music, to enjoy my island, I really made a very, very harsh sacrifice. And if now it's turning around in that kind of benefit, it's showing me some kind of reward, I thank you for being there to make it happen for me. God bless you for Dinah. And I hope this is not the last time I'll be on your show.
I hope not.
Thank you.
Okay, this wasn't the one that I actually wanted. I actually wanted this one right here. Daryl, Bobb, King Bob. Thank you so much for being here tonight. It was indeed a pleasure to have you on the In the Spotlight radio show. I got to know you a bit better, so I could appreciate you even more, especially on stage. When you do what you do, don't blush, Daryl. Don't blush, baby. What's I can be cricketer, right?
Yeah, we good, we good.
Alright, so that's a wrap on the Spotlight radio show. I want to say hi to Albert Panman Bellot, who said he was listening all the way from Thailand, I think it is. My God. Big major time difference.
Well, I want to reach out to Joel Francis, who's listening from Australia right now.
Okay.
He's the bass player on both my songs, and last year as well.
Oh.
Joel, big up to you and the family in Australia.
Alright.
You international,
I'm telling you.
especially if I'm here, you know.
I'm telling you, it's amazing. It's good stuff.
And Clayton in New York.
Yes.
And Cohen. One love to you guys. My brothers. Yeah.
Everybody.
Bless it.
I want to wish all the best as well to the other 9 finalists. It's going to be a good show. The competition is going to be tight.
And I want to add my voice to that too. I want to congratulate all of them for
Yes.
making it to the finals.
Yes.
And let's just put on a very good show, guys, in the name of Calypso and what we want out of Calypso.
Agreed, Daryl. Agreed. Actually, tonight it's what's happening on Piper's Step, right? Yeah, it's happening. So you have permission now to go over and listen and check it out, okay? We'll take a break next week, Monday. Of course, it's Carnival Monday. God willing, we'll be there back then the following Monday. And the intention is to have the winners, the Carnival winners. We normally do a Carnival winners program. So we hope that we can have the Carnival winners here with us. Who knows, maybe Daryl will be back here.
Looking forward.
That is a wrap. Thank you everybody for listening. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. Thank you, King Bob. Good night.